The Delta is probably the most fascinating place in Mississippi. It's largely still heavily agricultural. It was a region of extreme wealth and extreme poverty. Right now, it's certainly more poverty than wealth because of the collapse of King Cotton and the fact that so many people have left the region, both black and white, left the Delta. It's not nearly as vibrant a place as it was, say, 40 or 50 years ago.
When people come in from other states, they might say, oh, this is a rundown place, but instead of saying that, we just need the help here to try to help our children come up to make this a better place.
There are major crises in the Mississippi Delta when you're talking about things like teen birth rate, when you're talking about per capita income, when you talk about children living in poverty, when you talk about obesity. So there's several different things that you'll notice when you come to the Delta. It's also, even though it's a place of great need, it's also a place of great opportunity.
The surface level of sort of poverty and racism that does linger, that haunts the Delta, is the surface. And what's underneath that are folks who are brilliant and dedicated and wonderful and who need to be invested in and supported and who need to be treasured and learned from.
Education is the most important factor in turning around not just the Mississippi Delta, but the entire state of Mississippi in general, because everything is related to education. If you want to improve your economy, if you want to improve your quality of life, if you want to improve our health outcomes, it all comes back to having educated citizens.
You still have these homes in the South where you can go back generations and not find a high school graduate, a very few. And you can find some homes, I know, where you haven't had yet a college graduate.
You got to be prepared to go to college. You got to have that mindset. Your parents got to be teaching you from a baby. I want you to go to college. But I can't teach my child to go to college if I never been to college. If I never saw what college life is all about, I can't tell my child to go to college. First thing he said, Mama, you didn't go. Why should I go? So,
a lot of the problems is the children, they don't have a lot to do here, and they don't have a lot of role models, and it's not really much of a place that you would want to say that, hey, I want to stay here, I want to be here. So the children are very disencouraged about life. A lot of children probably don't believe here that they can make it no further than high school and stop. But a lot of Teach for America teachers come and they encourage the kids that they can go to college, they can be whatever they want to be when they grow up, and the kids really love them and I love them.
Teach for America is by far one of the best programs that I've encountered in my time in education. This year we actually had the opportunity to hire a Harvard graduate through Teach for America. And I think for me, as well as them, it was an eye-opener because it was almost like a mythical figure. They're there, you hear about them, but you never see them. And just that exposure opens up so many doors and so many dreams. It has been an absolute treat having these teachers in our school.
What I think you're seeing now is a lot of young, energetic, very intelligent people that are actually moving to the region. And they're sharing their talents in the classroom, and more of them are sharing their talents outside of the classroom too. I think just bringing in those new ideas, bringing in those new perspectives is very important to moving the Delta forward.
it's going to be a challenge for them as well as the students, because they might be all excited about coming here, but they got to learn. In order to teach a student, you have to kind of know their background. You got to find out what they're doing, where they live. You got to get out there and you got to know these people.
In Mississippi especially, it is about relationships. You've heard of the Kevin Bacon 7 degrees of separation. But in Mississippi, it's 3. It only takes 3 to get you to anywhere. But you can't get there if you don't actually call this place your home and start to get to know people.
If your mission, if your goal is to have an effect on community, if you're trying to change community through your job and through your mission, you've got to get to know the community. And the only way to do that is to take the risk and stick your hand out and say hello. Use that opportunity. Use that opportunity to get to know who we are, what sort of people we are, what we love, what we enjoy, and share that with the children that you're working with on a day-to-day basis. You will make an amazing difference in their lives.
When you make a connection with one person in the community, it's sort of like a chain reaction. It kind of opens you up to family, friends, even leaders in our community.
I think people need to come in not thinking of themselves as superheroes, but coming in thinking of themselves as teammates, saying that I want to be a part of the work that's currently going on. I want to be of assistance. I want to be a helper. I want to lead when it's time to lead. I want to follow when it's time to follow. And I think that's how you get not only yourself invested in the community, but you also get the community invested in the good work that court members do.
You know, I remember the civil rights days. At our house, we had a open house. You were welcome. We had, when the civil rights leaders used to come around, you know, they was placed in different areas, they got to know us. That's how, you know, they dealt with us. They dealt with the problem, and they became like family. And I guarantee you, the teachers would become like family if they got to know these people. They would get more respect, you know, and the children would want to learn.
What we have to understand is nobody's going to save the Delta but the folks in the Delta themselves, and they are perfectly capable of doing that. They just need people to believe in them.
We need just help, just to get our children on the right track, to let them know what the real world is about. If we can get them on the right path, then the future will be better.